this next one. Okay. What's one thing you wish you were taught back in school? So there's a lot of answers on this one, and like they were all really good. A lot of the answers came down to how to actually run a business. Now, when I graduated in 2010, we did have a couple trimesters of a business course. What was his name? Something Erickson. And I thought he did good, like even at Northwestern and stuff, y'all. But looking at, all right, let's just take my sample here. And like I'm gonna play devil's advocate for the schools a little bit because y'all know that we're a little divided, right? In like how we like to practice, especially the next question of how many patients per day a week is your ideal volume and why. Woo-hoo. The answers on that one are interesting, but we'll get to that in a sec. So I had a graduating class of like 110. And first of all, what the business class did do was teach us how to write a business plan, which was helpful information. I also don't know what else we talked about in there. Maybe there was marketing. It was a long time ago. And ultimately, whatever they were doing in 2010 is probably not what they're doing now in 2024. So I think that schools are trying to give some business advice. But the analogy I use for it is it's like someone trying to teach you how to crochet, but you don't have yarn and needles yet. You're just like learning through a PowerPoint and they're going like, and then you're going to slip this piece through that loop. And you're like, yeah, okay. Yep. Sounds easy. Yep. I'll totally remember that and execute that when the time has come. And then a year later, 5 years later, you finally get yarn and needles in hand and you're like, "Wait, what was the first step?" Like it's a hard thing to teach. Keep in mind that there are entire degrees, 4-year degrees, 6-year degrees, MBAs on teaching business. So when we're like, all like, they should teach you how to actually run a business, like, oh, okay. So do you want, like, what does that mean to you? Do you want basically a minor in finance with your chiropractic degree? Like, should we make that optional? Because a lot of chiropractors maybe don't want to start a business. Or like, okay, if we're going to talk marketing, well, that means that like we need to agree on some messaging or like, within my class, there were some of us that we knew we wanted to go on and be pretty high volume straight chiropractors. Others were running more of a boutique rehab style. And so, like, how that teacher is supposed to be like, okay, well, y'all over here are going to be running 5-minute adjustments at $40 or 45, and y'all over here are going to be doing max 10 a day and charging $100. And that's okay. So, what I think is realistic is instead of how to run a business, because that's big. Like I said, it's not really a doable thing unless we're looking at adding on an entire year of school. And then you have to trust that that school is in alignment with who you want to be in practice, that you're going to take business advice from them, right? Like there's different business schools, there's different trains of thought. I would rather see, if we were going to add, them teach how to think about money and talk more about money and how to make it and what to do with it once you start making it. I think that we have very little financial literacy in chiropractic, and that's an issue. So like when people are going, how to actually run a business, I think the underlying thread they're saying is understanding profit margins, understanding that you only have so much time and energy. And if you want to make a certain amount, then you have only certain variables you can play with. So, like, I would rather see some more like money mindset and financial literacy talk than like what people mean when they're like how to run a business. Like, you want them to teach you how to do an Excel spreadsheet? Like, I want to learn how to look at a profit loss statement and like how to run an efficient business without, and like learn about overhead and like investment of like, so I think many chiropractors had a really good year where their accountant has said, congratulations, you made 80,000 more this year that you get to pay taxes on, please write that check." And they, like, look at their bank account and they're like, "Well, where'd that 80 grand go?" Like, I are you sure I made 80,000 more? Because I don't have 80,000 sitting around this year to pay those on. And, like, those are the kind of things where it's like financial literacy and thinking about how money flows through a business and what you can use your money to do, is great. So I think if we had some of that in school, that would be helpful in answering kind of this next question.